Okay. All right, welcome everybody to Prepper and Beast Hour, Beast and Prepper Hour. So, of course, I'm not all American Prepper, as everybody can see. Um, Little Miss Prepper here with Sarge the Beast Larson. So, just
Yeah.
to let everybody know, Prep All American, he is feeling under the weather and may have been something he just ate. Hey, Ashton. Hi, Crooked. Hi, Terminator. Hey, Aaron. Everybody that's in the chat right now. Um, so that's what's up with him right now. He must have ate something weird that didn't agree with his stomach. So I'm on here instead. And so I'm going to then now let it go over to Sarge so he can say what's going on. And then we'll go from there.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Life has really been crazy. I'm in the car. I'm going to be driving in the rain. Some kind of weird things ended up happening tonight for my wife and I, schedule-wise, and I'm not at home. But anyhow, I got some notes in my head underneath these little short hairs and some great topics. And the first topic I wanted to talk about really quick, it really bugs me. And I like, we talk about survival, all kind of survival here. And this was, I talk about some popular news. The thing in the news this week that got my attention was the couple that's sitting in their Tesla with a child in the back, and the auto locks froze up and all that. Now, I like Elon Musk. I won't buy an electric car. I just want a gas car. But how in the world can you sit in a car and stare at your screaming child for like 4 hours and you don't know how to get out of a car? We talked about weapons in the car, and this is what's important. And even to the point I showed you, putting 2 D-cell batteries in a bag, 2 little padlocks in a bag. You should have something hard enough object in your car to break a window and get out and save your family's life. Now, people that did this, they're a young couple, and of course, they're on Entertainment Tonight, like, oh, we just didn't know what to do. Not making fun of them, but that's how they acted. Punch a hole in that car or something, punch that window out. But that's not survival. But if you can't get your child out of the car, how are you going to protect them if you get surrounded in your car? We talked about 5-6 weeks ago, and the prepper took us through a 2-hour session about how to drive your car off the road into the woods, how to survive into the woods, making your camp and your food and your water. But we talked about this. We talked about several state laws have passed. If you're surrounded by a crowd like this in a mob, it is legal to run them over for your safety. So if you can run people over but you can't break a window and get out, you got a problem. Now, most people that's on here, like, for instance, I know Moose Man. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. Moose Man's got something heavy in his car. He can bust that window out, I guarantee, or shoot it out. Like me, I got guns in my car. I always have 2 guns in my car. I can shoot holes through any windshield. But that's just crazy. But it's the mindset. And that's the reason we do these podcasts, having the mindset, the awareness, sharing information, building information for each other. How do you survive and how do you get through something? So the title tonight is, after the election, what happens next? And we all know that Trump is selecting his people. We know the day after the election, the what do I call it? Inflation dropped 0.25%. So they, hiring Elon Musk and another guy, they're going to be auditing the government, get rid of all this excess spending. So hopefully, when they cut out the excess spending, that's going to be more that they can do for us. But the first thing comes to my mind, and I asked my wife this, she'll be jumping in the car here in a few minutes. Anyhow, you'll hear her. You can finally get to meet the Mrs. Beast, the woman for 30 years behind the madness. I mean madness. And this madness is what cost me my spine earlier this year in spine surgery. But what do? Well, our youngest is 18. He's graduating high school, and he's already enrolled in a school program. We go camping. We go out. We go fishing. We go out and we go into nature. So I think as a nation, as a group, as a people, as friends here that are always on this podcast, individually, you go out and you do the things in life that you didn't do for the last 4 years, last 8 years, even prior to COVID. We go out and we enjoy ourselves. We live. We take some of this extra money that they're going to give us or lower our taxes, et cetera, and we owe it to ourselves, I guess. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
We did a show 6-7 weeks ago also about PTSD, and we learned a lot of things, and a lot of those that follow. Yeah, Moose Man said, "Yeah, I can break glass." Good. We all have been through some things in our life, and I have people share, and on this podcast, and then on some individual, and the prepper has too. People are telling us, "Hey, my child was murdered. My child was assaulted." We've had people tell us, somebody in my family's been human trafficked. And, we just go through a lot as people, as parents, and which we really need to take that emotional break for ourselves. So that's kind of what we're going to be hinting at. I'm going to be hinting at every week in the podcast. Hey, folks, we need to go out. Maybe one day in life next year or so, I'll get down and I could be live with the prepper side by side instead of on the phone like that. We'll just be side by side. That's a goal of mine, to get down there. My wife and I can come down there and visit. But we have to change this really to a positive thing. Now there are those, you keep reading different states, and we didn't have the mass chaos that I thought we would. We talked to kind of prepare about this.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have everybody tearing up the streets and going crazy. A couple of days after, we did have some peaceful protests, some marches. We've got some different states, Democratic Party, talking about a recount, but they're also scratching their head because, she was 20 million over her, spent more money than she got donated to her. That's complicated, but we'll stay out of that. But we kind of just got to keep our eyes around the corner too. I'm not just going to go celebrate. I'm happy with the election, but I'm not going to go celebrate and turn the blind eye. I'm always leery. My son came home from work last night. He works in retail. He's 18, and there's a diverse group that works there, he calls it. But this diverse group, I bet, is 98% of left extreme, and they're talking about women have no more rights completely, and we're going to have no more health care, no more this. And I'm telling him, nowhere, that's wrong. That's all false. And I'm trying to explain all this in great detail to him. We're not losing all this. We're not completely banning abortion and stuff like that. And that's not our platform for this podcast. But we're just saying this. There's still going to be those people and groups out there. They're still going to lash out. And it may take a month or two. It may take till January 20th on that night. That might be the night that becomes our most critical. I think January 20th is the day that President Trump takes office again. I think that's the big swearing-in ceremony. So that could be the day that the big protests in the world kicks off. I don't know. But we're going to watch it. We're all watching the news. We're all watching things.
Yep, I even had on my ladies' night live. We wait, today is Wednesday. Monday, even before the election, we were saying how you just got to be careful. You got to watch your back. You don't know what's going to happen. You just got to prepare about what people may do. Because you don't know how people are going to react. So, we were saying that on my ladies' night live as well. So, in our area, we haven't had really protests, nothing like that. So it just kind of like normal day afterwards.
That's good. That's good. We need to de-stress. And I said in the last podcast, this has caused me a lot of anxiety, and the prepper as well. And we come from a world that's kind of what we know as violence. And when people get stupid and talk stupid, we've been around stupid and we do react to it. It's kind of second nature. And I was really, really, really worked up and concerned. And then I had to turn stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the prepper, hey, this, a couple weeks ago, this is, it's almost too much to not get on and talk. This is complicated. I just want to get through without social media. And what I mean, when George Floyd happened, that incident that night, I've taught self-defense to police and correction. And the day that happened in the riot, I just about went through the roof. I got all my guns out and knives and machetes, started putting bullets and guns by each door. So my wife, they come down here, I'm going to war. And I was convinced that day in May that we were going to war. At least I was going to war. She was going to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
I was going to work and coming back in the morning. But, my crooked little, my phone cuts off. Yes, we got our head on a swivel. And I'm getting some new iron sights for the AR I got from Bear Creek Arsenal. Great company. I'm a influencer ambassador for them. Got a bunch of bullets already. I'm just going to change the sights because I want it to be for indoor.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Patriot Sauls. Hello, welcome. I'm not putting a big scope. It's not 223 is not a long range gun. It's not for that. I have other rifles for that. This is going to be for self-defense in close quarter. It's a 16-inch barrel, so it's perfect for maneuvering around the house. I'm going to make some videos with it. I've not been sick, just things going on. My wife's kind of been really under the weather, and I need somebody to video me doing this and moving. I can't do it myself. I can't hold it, and I can't put it on a stand.
Yeah.
So I need her to be ready to do and roll it. I'm going to put the stand on wheels so it's stable, but I need her to be backing up and do that. Something, too, I'm going to do in the near future, which is going to be hilarious. So everybody, I hope you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, Sergeant Beast Larson, and also All American Prepper 13. But I'm going to do a training video about attempted carjacking and have my wife mace me. And I'm going to have 2 different camera angles and put them together. But you're going to get to see me getting maced. And I was an instructor with police. I've been maced a lot. I know how it does. But it's just something I'm going to do because I want to show some people kind of the effects, what she should do after spraying me, and also what to do if she feels like if I'm not as incapacitated as she wants. Because we all know mace only works maybe 88%, maybe a little bit less. The more drugs and alcohol people do, the less it works. And it seems like everybody's on drugs and alcohol if you watch the news and the celebrities and your politicians and all kind of stuff. So you factor that in, and it's less than 88%. But that's going to be coming soon.
I am looking forward to that video.
Oh yeah, me too.
No, actually, more just the for women what to do after the fact of macing somebody. I like that idea.
I'm trying to get her attention here because I got to go pick up my son from work here in 15 minutes, and she's talking.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to honk. She's inside the business there. But, I think between now, we've got Black Friday sales coming up. We're all old enough. We've been through this. The one thing about Black Friday sales that concerns me, and I'm kind of would like to go out and get in the middle of it, but I shouldn't because of my spine and the screws in there. I shouldn't be fighting anymore. But you know how people carry on at 5 a.m., they want to start a fight over a pair of shoes or something at Walmart, and then you got 10 fools that want to videotape everything. I don't want to be on a videotape at 5 in the morning fighting over a TV.
No.
But I'm expecting this type of behavior to be escalated this year. It's after an election. The people that normally do these and that are robbing 7-Eleven, this younger group, it's a group. It's a mixed race group. It's not just one race. Escape and evade, yes. I do anticipate more problems through some Black Friday. However, with so much more internet purchase, we may not.
Yeah.
It's one of those toying causes. But we'll talk more about it next week. I'm kind of feeling out because some stores are starting Black Friday the Friday before Black Friday.
Yeah.
So it could be spread out because they want to get more. They're realizing now that if the economy just dropped 0.25% the day after, the election day, then they're anticipating more bang for your buck. I think they're going to spread out the days so they can get more bang for their buck as a retailer. So I think it might even actually work out better for us. So we'll kind of see how that is. We'll feel it out and talk next Wednesday night about it. Because we've got time. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we actually have 2 shows before Thanksgiving to kind of prepare, keep everybody updated with the news. It seems like from the news, there's a whole lot of parents that are getting in trouble for some negligence. FOBOS Knives had an awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I do some influence for swords, knives, and daggers. I don't have them with me, but that's where I buy my stun guns and brass knuckles from. Is swords, knives, and daggers. They're actually at home where I usually do this podcast from. But just keep an eye on places. Everybody's going to have some great sales, and I'm looking forward to some. Where we're wife and I talking about Christmas gifts for each other, and leaning more for more camping, more outdoors equipment. We have a good tent. I got about 8 machetes. That's fine. I got a shovel. That's great. But we really don't have any cooking supplies for outside, fire starting, stuff like that. Other than a tent, gun, and knife, I kind of need to build my supply up. And we need to better prepare more for foods, like the dehydrated foods like you had. A couple weeks ago, you opened up that strawberry. Was it a strawberry pack he was chomping on?
Yes.
Don't eat that whole thing.
Yes, it was a big freeze-dried can of strawberries. And they were really, really good. Now, I do have a couple ideas for you on the cooking aspect for that, all your camping stuff, is a cast iron stuff. Because, of course, that can go in the fire. And then also with a Dutch oven, cast iron, there is so many recipes on how to cook anything in a cast iron Dutch oven.
Okay.
Yes. So I highly recommend that one. And then depending on also how you're doing your campfire for cooking, if you're doing it that way, then do you have like an actual round, nice thing where you have a grill on top and then you can put your utensil cooking stuff on top of that? Or if you have an A-frame thing over a fire where you can move it in and out of the fire where you need it. It can be adjusted on how much fire you need or heat that you need.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's some things we'll look in, and I'll be messaging over that.
Yeah. And there's even a whole cookbook of Dutch oven recipes. And you can do a whole, say an apple pie. You can do a whole apple pie in a Dutch oven.
Okay.
Really good, of course, for soups, for stews. And then, of course, if you have a flat griddle, those, of course, are good for your eggs, bacon, pancakes, all that.
Yeah. We also need to think about a small generator, possibly.
Yeah.
I just feel like I need to have one. I'm sorry. If I'm getting out that much next year with a new plan of life, I should have some kind of generator.
And then also do your big research on your generators. Are you wanting to do a solar generator, propane, or gas? And then there's this one generator that does propane or gas. I believe it's Champion. Okay. That one does it. You can do either one, gas or propane on it.
I know
So,
when I was real young, getting out of the military, I had a little tiny Coleman one that had those little round canisters you screw in the side.
yep,
That's
yep.
been many days ago.
Oh yeah. And then also that is also then can go back to cooking on those little ones. Are you wanting to do cooking on the fire or cooking on propane?
Yeah.
So,
It
or
kind of,
have both, just in case.
yeah. We may look for both. There's a couple places we camped that I know would definitely be campfire. When we first were dating before we got married 29 years ago, we did some camping and it was all fire, actual fire. There was no gas or propane involved. But a couple places we see now, everything's really shifted away from that. So we definitely need to consider both. We got to get the prepper well enough so that when I'm ready for Christmas shopping for camping gear, we can pick both of your brains.
Yep.
We can't let him miss this conversation.
He could go more on this conversation, at least probably with the generator part. I can do a little bit, but he can do more on the generator part.
Can we drive?
Oh, God. We just got to get Roman at 10.
Oh, okay. I'll drive.
No, I'm just doing something. Everybody, this is Mrs. Beast.
Hi.
And this is little Miss Prepper. He's
Yeah,
tonight.
we've met.
Yes,
He
we.
ate something.
Ooh. You know what's good for that is charcoal.
Yes, it
Chocolate
is.
tablet.
You know what? I am out too.
Oh.
I normally do have some charcoal on hand, but I am out.
If you were my neighbor, I'd run it over.
Yeah.
You don't want me to drive?
No, it's okay. But honey, we were talking about what we talked about last night on the couch. Plus some more things. But people in a Tesla that can't bust a window and get out have the nerve and kind of recap some things. And then she and I have been talking about camping equipment. Christmas stuff. Christmas coming up, Black Friday. Are people going to be wild and crazy? Are they going to be calm? Some stores starting Black Friday next week, a week early. And I kind of, dropped a little hint. Maybe we're going to talk about some camping ideas for me for Christmas.
That sounds like a plan.
Like cooking stuff
Oh.
is like the first area that we're lacking in.
Michelle, he's a good cook.
I'm a good cook in the kitchen. I can't stand very long though because it makes my screws hurt in my bone. But we're going to get out from that.
Yep.
I also dropped a hint to everybody. Everybody subscribe that we're going to do a anti-kidnapping video where you're going to spray me with mace as I open the door in the car. Have two different camera. We want to make sure everybody can see my face up really close and see the splash and then the face turn red. And then what I do and what you do both in the vehicle, instructions on your part. How to handle this after just spraying somebody. And we can actually do this. We live in a cul-de-sac. We'll do it in the end of the cul-de-sac. That way she's not just stuck in a driveway or, in a parking lot out in a business. And we won't have everybody calling 911 on us thinking she's assaulted me in the road. Because we may have had that happen up down the street once in a while somewhere.
Have a sign in your yard that's saying, doing a video, please do not call the cops.
Yeah.
Video in progress.
Training in progress. That's a funny thing you should mention that. On the SWAT team, we had big wooden signs like a yard sign that were permanent fixture, and we would put out like 3 or 4 in each direction. Police training in progress. No emergency. And
Yeah.
So that's a good idea. I haven't done anything outside the house training like that before. I always just do training inside or in a training room. So that's the idea. We should do that. We know our neighbors though, and they know I'm half crazy. So they won't be too scared.
Yeah, especially if you give them a heads up, be like, hey, if we're going to do this, so no emergency needed here.
Nope.
Yeah. But another thing too, besides busting out of the car and everything, shopper safety, everybody knows, but obvious. Cover up your packages in a car. Shop with friends. Don't shop alone with a bunch of bags and make yourself a target. We kind of both limp a little bit, and I've always told her, with her foot and her foot surgeries, the professional shoplifters, the gangs, they're looking to target somebody that they think they can take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're together shopping, and, of course, I'm going to pick out my own presents so she won't have to do that by herself. We'll be together.
Oh, aren't you nice?
Yeah, I'm nice. And I always carry a gun in my pocket, my Glock. But, just being aware that they're not snatching bags and trying to run and the window stuff. We live close to things that are shopping. We can shop a little bit, go to lunch, shop some more the next day. We're not overwhelming ourselves either. We've talked about eating good and hydrating yourself. People don't think about it. They get shopping all day long. I'm a man, so my belly tells me when lunch is, when cookie snack is, when dinner is. My wife can shop for 9 hours and never eat once. That also makes her not hydrated and undernourished, which is a conversation I love to have.
I'm a little different on that because shopping makes me hungry. I'm all like, hey, okay, we've been in here for a little bit. Let's go to either, I don't know, I'm just going to say Starbucks, McDonald's, Wendy's. Let's grab a Frosty at Wendy's.
I could do that. I could so do that.
Yeah, or if you go to McDonald's, grab a hot fudge sundae.
Oh, yeah.
Although I like caramel on the bottom, ice cream, and then fudge on top.
Yep. That's my girl. Yep. Love it.
Yeah. Just like Dusty Country Road said, staying home on Black Friday, and Saul says they prey on the weak targets. Yes, they do.
Yep.
That's okay. I might walk around with my brass knuckles in one of my hands shopping.
Yes.
Because here in Kentucky, it's an open carry state, and I can open carry anything I want.
Yeah.
So I just might wave to the police with my brass knuckles in my hand, just because it's legal and I can get away with it.
Yeah.
But also, holidays, fall break is over. Holidays coming up, kids being off school. Human trafficking thing has been in the news a lot lately, going back to our news conversation. And folks, if you didn't get to see it's in the second, third, fourth ones. You can go back and look as our podcast began. We were really honing in on human trafficking. I've seen some more stuff about kids. Oh, that's the one I forgot. It was on my notes. There's a man, and when there's divorce, sometimes the custody issues, there's not always equal custody, obviously. There's a man that, it was a kidnapping. It was an official kidnapping charge. He had zero custody of his little girl that was 7. Up in Ohio a couple of days ago, he takes her. The police do the Amber Alert. Everybody's going nuts. He's dangerous. The police find the vehicle. They get in a wild, high-speed pursuit. Vehicle gets stopped somehow. They get in the shootout, and the police shoot the man, and he dies. The 7-year-old is unharmed and returned to the other part of the family.
Good.
But
I'm glad she's unharmed.
The holidays. What the holidays brings out into people is depression and some emotions and mental feelings. I don't want to say mental illness or anything, but it brings out some mental feelings and situations and remembrances that make things difficult. I have a police friend, we both do. And, Kenny Jansen, he's a great officer. He actually was involved in an officer-involved shooting. A man tried to kill him with a 6-foot piece of metal, and he shot him and killed him in December of many years ago, actually in 91. Well, Kenny's one of his brothers. There's 4 boys. One of them is the sheriff now. Kenny's retired. The third one, I don't know. The fourth one was actually shot. He was a police officer in a city in the next county. He was shot like the week before Christmas back in the 80s by a fellow officer at a domestic call. They were backtracking and going down the stairs, and the rookie officer pulled his gun, came up to engage the suspect who had a gun, and shot Kenny's brother in the back. So the month of December for Kenny means his brother was killed, police officer brother was killed, and then it's also the same month that he had to shoot somebody in the line of duty. So a lot of things like this come up, and you just don't know what emotion, what's coming up, how people are going to feel on Black Friday trigger. There's a lot of suicides that happen Thanksgiving Day when there's no more family. Coming up prior to, and we're going to talk about this frequently, prior to Christmas in that month. So we have to be aware of this, heads on a swivel, have a little understanding too of this, have some compassion for others. All of us here, we're not, crazy murderers, serial killers. We're not. We're people that want to survive and just live and kind of be left alone. But so that allows us, we're not the police that we have to take a situation and involved and make a decision, are we arresting them or not, give them a ticket, letting them go, is there a danger? We do have the opportunity to have compassion and emotion to other people without taking their life as a first choice. That's what I'm trying to get. So we've got to be aware of things like this. I've noticed in a couple other podcasts that they're already talking about the holidays and suicide awareness. So, hey, I'm not copying off them. I'm 57 and I knew this before they did. These podcasters are younger than me. So I've already been there and done that and helped the families. They're just copying off me.
Yeah. One of the chats, Angie, Bully has passed. He's been passed for a few weeks now. But yeah, and sorry to hear about your father-in-law as well.
Yeah.
Personal friend of all Americans since I don't know how long, way like maybe when they were kids they knew each other. Yeah, Aaron, yes, it's believe a month now. It feels like just a couple of weeks ago. And also Angie, yes, I seen on Facebook that your pops passed as well. Sorry, we follow I've seen her. I got her on Facebook as well.
Okay. Yeah. Another topic I wanted to cover on my list, and I don't know how to take it, and you know how the New York Times will post stuff, and some of them have more credibility or not, but the fact that it was a headline in a short article means there's more to come. So I got a neutral opinion on this. I do come from the military. I was in the Air Force in the 80s. But it said with the new president-elect, is the military time going to change? And I can tell you from right now, from having friends that have children that are in the military, it is not the same military that it used to be. It is really, really, really like night and day difference. The times could be changing. What does that mean? Well, one of the things that means is they're not going to tolerate some of the things that are allowed right now. Some of the behaviors of the military people. Some of the, I got to tread on thin ice right here when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
They have really tolerated some of this far left idea and opinion that everything is acceptable and you can do anything you want. Well, I'll compare this to a workplace environment. Say you go to Ford Motor Company, they have a dress code because most likely you're working in manufacturing and there's safety risks. You need a steel-toed boot, for instance. You're going to need a hard hat in certain areas. You need certain types of clothing. Your long sleeves may have to be tied, for instance, to not get caught up in a machine. So in saying that, the military has really relaxed on what they wear and how they act and what you can do in uniform. For instance, when I was in uniform, you would never be on TikTok. You would never be on a video unless it was a training video dealing with the military that was approved by somebody of higher rank. Now you got people in military that are drunk, making TikTok videos, getting in a car, fighting, and they're in full uniform, and that's acceptable. There's no punishment for that. Well, those days are going to be over. It wasn't like that when Mr. Trump was in before. That's a dog. You hear that noise? That's a dog howling on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, for everybody else, don't be alarmed. There's puppy dogs down by our feet. It's probably the All-American Prepper poking them and aggravating them. But there's going to be a new strictness that comes into the military. The importance of that is the world doesn't adapt to changes very well. People don't want to give up some ground that they've gained, maybe politically or socially, economically, and they react nowadays violently or by tearing up somebody else's property. If you don't get your way, go fight in a mob. That's what their thinking is. I'm not saying that we do that, but that's what the potential could be in the future. More mobs.
Uh-oh. Sarge? So I don't know if it's on my end or his end, but it looked like he froze up for a little bit. So yeah, even like he was saying, don't know how things are going to be acting here soon, but we all just got to keep our heads on a swivel. And Angie, it's okay. It was fine. But until he gets back on, because of course he's on his phone, so he may have went through a spotty area for his internet. Oh, there you are. Yes.
You hear me okay?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, I just waited. I didn't try and get off and back on. Yeah, it's 10:06. Yeah, we're coming. I'll be right there. Yeah, our son's on the phone. We're on the way picking him up.
Okay, I know it froze in the middle of you talking too.
Okay.
And you were.
Yeah, I was just finishing about. I know I'm excited about this change in the military. There will be some. I hope a lot. I'm excited about that, and I think a lot of people won't be at the same time. I think there'll be equal division. So we'll keep an eye, everybody, and we'll keep you posted. That's close to my heart, being in the military like that. Another thing that's going to be a possible issue is the night. Once they said that, Mr. Trump was won the election again, there's already this big debate about the border. And he said he's going to do this. He's going to close the borders. He's already hired Tom, I forget his last name. I met him in his speech 2 years ago. He was the former director of ICE Immigration Customs Enforcement Group. He's coming back. He did a great job. I know there's a lot of talk about that wall, about deporting a bunch of people. And I know there's videos that there's thousands that are marching to get in before he gets elected. Well, I guess they don't have a cell phone and watch the news, because Mr. Trump's already making presidential executive orders. He's already making changes and things are in place now. So they need to realize, don't wait for January 20th. He's making a change right now. And that's going to make a potential security risk for some people. It's definitely a hot topic.
Oh, yes. And Dusty Country Road said that I'm excited but worried at the same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have multiple platforms. Usually I'm at home and I'm on a tablet, and I've got 3 devices so I can look and see the comments a little bit more, and I'm not in a car. Thank you, everybody, again. We always do this a few times. Thanks for being on the show. We greatly appreciate it. Always make sure you're subscribed. All American Prepper 13 on YouTube, as well as Rumble, and Sergeant Beast Larson on YouTube. My Rumble page is different. It's Steve468 Larson, and I usually post that in the comments. I just can't tonight. Keep an eye, because we are trying to get technical advice to connect to both of them some kind of way. It's possible, we just haven't figured it out. We're gun people and fight people. We're not tech people.
Yeah,
Yeah. My wife says that. She's laughing at me.
I hear her.
Gun people.
Yeah, we gun people. Also, we ask people, take a few minutes when you look at our YouTube channel on the very top, hit the view channel, look a little bit about us, find out some stuff, a little about our history. We do have some Avalink commercial or connection, that we are influencers for some different products. We'll put some links in there. We also have neither one of us are working. The prepper, he was dealing with everything with his father, stuff going on a lot in his life. I had spine surgery in April, and I'm done. I'm not working anymore. We do have PayPal and Venmo information on there. Anybody's interested in that. And we also have a great Facebook page called Prepper and Beast Hour. And this morning we had 139 followers.
Oh,
So
that's
I always
awesome.
It's going up slowly. I always ask everybody, come back next Wednesday night, always 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but invite someone to come with you. Invite your friends. If you're prepping, you're camping, you're getting out, you're outdoors, you have friends, you have family. Talk to your friends and family about our podcast and bring them on board. We don't always, we've had a couple long shows. I've went through some hand-to-hand things, kind of really talk some things the prepper has, really to get information. And then we do some shows, and tonight, the rain and stuff, and it's not going to be a long show, but we do some that are just an hour, and we're just sharing and we're getting. We also ask you to post comments in here or on our page to us. Easy to get a hold of us both through that, and give us some ideas about shows. And we did a show at the request, and it was kind of a little bit different, but survival. We were talking about domestic violence orders, getting restraining orders, how to deal with, prepper, little Miss Prepper going through a situation with their daughter and the ex. And we spent some time, I'm retired police, talking about the legal system and how things work. Also, a couple tips on what not to say to the police and how to say, I want a lawyer and I have no statement. There's a time that you don't want to be a chatty mouth. If they start reading you your rights, you want to talk to an attorney, and you don't want to say a bunch of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to keep stuff. Same thing if somebody comes into your house, or you're outside, or you got to defend yourself or run somebody over in a riot in a crowd, and the police are coming to you. You don't want to talk a whole lot. When you're using self-defense, you don't want to talk a whole lot. I know what to say without having an attorney. Some people do, but you don't want to say a lot of things without having the correct legal advice, because you don't want to spend a month in jail with no bond waiting your first hearing.
No, you don't.
So there's a time, but you got to go back and check on shows. Let's see, I'm stopped here for a minute. Yeah, Bob White, thank you. Yeah, we hope he gets better. I gotta have to message him tomorrow and check on him. I'm gonna have to tell him maybe he needs to just cook his own food. Maybe LMP there is burning his toast or something.
Hey, if I
don't
burned
know.
his toast, then he would have some charcoal. So I'd scrape it off the toast.
Scrape it right off. But,
Normally, I do like his cooking better anyway, so.
yeah. But we kind of, this is enjoy life, live life to the fullest, and that's kind of what, and honey, I told him I asked you that question last night. Economy changing. What do we want to do next year that makes better? We want to get out more. We want to live more. We want to be able to stretch our dollar more, like it's promised to us by the government. we stop sending Ukraine money, or we'll have more money to take care of our own needs inside our borders.
Yep.
So we're excited, and also excited next year because it is our 30th anniversary in February. So next year is going to be a very great year, 365 days of it.
What day in February?
18th.
We're the 13th in February.
Okay. Yes.
That's a good month.
It is.
I remember the prepper told me that because it's the day before Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, and we chose not Valentine's Day as well because we didn't want to celebrate both together. We wanted our day to be our own day, not a national holiday.
Yeah, we did went to the courthouse and they said, all right, you have 3 days. Here's your 3 days. And then it's like, oh, crap. And then we called up, my mother-in-law called up a lady she knew that could marry us. And we were hoping like the 12th, but she couldn't. So it was like, all right, I could do the 13th or 14th. I'm like, I'm not getting married on Valentine's Day. So I at least have one day where it's us. It's our day.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then I remind him the next day. I'm like, hey, it's Valentine's Day today. Because, of course, he doesn't know what day things are. So I have to be like, hey, today's our anniversary. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. Hey, it's my birthday. Hey, it's your birthday.
Nope. Not Steve.
Oh, brother. So you mean, so you're soliciting my help with adjusting his calendar?
He wouldn't know that.
Keep him in track.
Yeah, I was telling her not you.
Oh, yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, because
he can tell you when we met.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. I can also tell you, too, here before my son gets in the car and gets embarrassed. I'm getting ready to make a video this weekend. I declared 30 years ago it's National Shower with Your Spouse Day. And it's because I'm a fall risk and she's a fall risk. Whatever. But you just need that one day a year. And I post this on Instagram every year, and just to make people laugh. You gotta bring cheer to a bad day. Oh, here we go. How you doing? We're on the podcast. I won't show you on here. My son here's the one that actually built that Facebook page for us.
Oh, cool.
He is really, really talented with that kind of stuff.
I need his help. He needs to come to Florida with y'all.
Oh, definitely. He would love it.
Yeah, he wants a Florida.
I need his help with computery stuff.
He knows a lot.
But so if you're subscribed to me, you'll see it when I do that video short, as well as when I'm on TikTok doing that. So look forward to that specific video coming up very soon. But I think that's all the points. Oh, honey, you're a good wife, 100%.
Thank you.
But that was my notes that I really wanted to talk about after this election thing, and kind of less political, but the big topics. This Black Friday, the Thanksgiving, and I'm very thankful. I did see something the other day, that a situation with somebody, and it really, really reminds me. My wife says Christmas is every day. We enjoy each other. Our marriage is every day. We kind of live that life and celebrate it. But somebody really realized how important life is to them that day, that doesn't look at life being that important every day of the year. So Thanksgiving coming up, and we're really thankful. And it's something that we want to share with family and others as well.
Are you hungry?
What you want to grab? Probably not. Google their time real quick. Yeah, he's just checking. He's 18. We got to get him fed. But we went through these topics and everything that I wanted to cover tonight, and thank you everybody again for joining in.
Yes.
Give us some idea topics that you might have for the near future, especially with Thanksgiving and holiday and the Christmas holiday, New Year's coming up. the ball drop. We always worry about New York City on that night.
Yeah, there
You
is.
know.
Yep. And
Yeah, I'll put down my
actually,
notes over there.
All American, he's always worried about New Year's as well, with just even fireworks going off. That could actually be a topic for people at PTSD with
Yeah.
military or even civilians that may have had experience with either gunfire going off, bad experience with either loud popping, banging noises. That people need to have what other people do on that day. And I know I also have 3 dogs that have anxiety fear on that day. So I gotta medicate them up so they can calm down. I got a husband that also has anxiety on that day. So
Yeah, we'll have to medicate him.
yeah. Yeah, so but he'll take different medication than the dogs.
We don't medicate our animals. They just all get on the couch with us or right by our feet, and like she has to almost hold them and pet them.
Yes.
The fireworks went off.
I actually found some more natural things for medication. It's just a calming agency for dogs, and I just found it at the pet store. All natural. Because I have one dog that shakes like so bad, and then the 2 others, if the bigger ones, if they hear any popping, they'll 1 shake, and 2, I don't want no dog fight.
Yeah.
So especially when we have them in here, we'll try to have the TV up loud so that it'll help drown out the noises. And because the neighbors, they go really overboard with it, and freak my dogs out.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to say or add, honey?
No. I'm just agreeing with you guys. Trust me, if I didn't agree with you, I would tell you.
Yeah.
Or if I had to put something in, yeah.
She would put it in. Well, I'm good from the side of the beast. I'm glad you all, the faithful listeners, got to meet the Mrs. Beast tonight.
Yes. And just a reminder, everybody check Sarge the Beast Larson on Facebook. Hold on, back that up. On YouTube, Sarge the Beast Larson. Everybody that is not subscribed, please go over there and subscribe to his channel. And also on Facebook, Prepper and Beast Hour. Check that out. Follow. Put likes, share, all that good stuff. What's your Rumble page again?
Steve468 Larson.
There you go. Anybody that's on Rumble, go over there. Follow him on there. For us on Rumble, it's All American Prepper 13. And of course, go follow it. One day we will be on. We were going to try to be able to do these lives on both Rumble and Facebook. I just have to figure that out. Both of us.
Yeah.
But everybody, thank you all, everybody, for joining in. Go and subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you have a Rumble, go and follow. And any last things then, Sarge?
Stay safe, as the prepper says. Stay frosty. And stay dangerous.
And everybody have a blessed evening. And Wednesday next week, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll do this again. Hopefully All American will feel better and he'll be able to join in. And then also anybody that follows our Ladies Night Live, I will be doing that tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everybody have a blessed evening, and we will see y'all next time.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.